Alice's Adventures in Wonderland with Through the Looking Glass are the two most famous books by Lewis Carroll, pen name of Charles Ludwig Dodgson. He was born on the 27th of January 1832 in Rosebery, UK, the firstborn of 11 children. Charles started his education at home with a tutor, then at Rugby, and finally at Christ Church College in Oxford University, where his father was the head. He had a bad experience during his school years, because he was disturbed by the other boys during the night, probably for sexual reasons. By the time he started Oxford in 1851, at the age of 19, he had shown talent, in particular for mathematics. After he got his Bachelor of Arts, he taught mathematics and geometry and also became a deacon. Although he was brilliant in his subject, as a teacher his lessons were boring due to his indifference and distance. He didn't interact with his students. On the contrary, he was a great writer. In fact, here he was able to express his talent to the full. In addition, due to his retiring character, he never married or had close relationships with anybody. He only opened up when relating to children, in particular Alice Liddell, who he met when her father began to teach at Christ Church, Oxford. He spent a lot of time with Alice. He took photographs of her and her sisters, but always in the presence of a parent to safeguard him from any type of sexual temptation. Their meetings ended when Alice's parents surprised them at home having tea. From that point on, they didn't see each other anymore. Lewis Carroll died on the 14th of January 1898 in Guildford. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland tells the story of Alice, a girl who suddenly finds herself in an imaginary world where nothing makes sense, a world full of bizarre people and absurd situations created from the author's fantasy. It is a hot spring day, and little Alice is seated on the bank of a river with her sister. She is playing distractedly with a bunch of daisies, while her sister silently reads a book with no pictures. All of a sudden, her curiosity is aroused by a small white rabbit in a waistcoat, who runs by looking at his pocket watch. An impulse Alice follows him into his rabbit hole and tumbles down a long deep tunnel. From then on, Alice will constantly change her size according to the food and drink she consumes. In some cases she will get bigger, in others she will get smaller. She will meet characters who will pose strange riddles to her, talking animals, animated objects, and curious creatures such as the smoking caterpillar, the Cheshire cat, and the Mad Hatter. It is only when the Queen of Hearts orders the guards to cut off Alice's head that she wakes up from the deep sleep in which she had fallen. There are many films based on this book, the latest being the one produced by Walt Disney Pictures and directed by Tim Burton in 2010. The film is not a simple representation of the book. Instead, it is a follow-up of the adventures experienced by the child in both Carroll's works. At the beginning of the film, Alice is a child who wakes up during the night because of a strange, recurring dream. Then she is transported 13 years into the future, where we see her as a teenager at a party. Later, she will discover it is for her engagement to an English lord. The moment she has to accept or refuse his proposal, Alice runs away into the woods, following the white rabbit, and finds herself back in that world which she has by now forgotten. This time the girl has to end a mission whose conclusion has been already predicted. Kill the Jabberwocky, the terrible dragon belonging to the Queen of Earth, who has dominated by terror the entire underworld and who will obstruct the young Alice in every way she can. Many of the characters in the film will help Alice, one in particular, the Mad Hatter, who, unlike some of the others, immediately recognizes Alice and encourages her to carry on and believe in herself. The battle ends with Alice's victory, the death of the Jabberwocky, and the exile from the underworld of the Red Queen, sister of the White Queen, from whom she had usurped the crown. Now, a more confident Alice decides to return to her real world, where she feels ready to make a decision in front of a crowd that will judge her. She refuses the English lord and follows in her dead father's footsteps. He was a trader who wanted to expand his business towards the east. In fact, the film ends with Alice on board a ship and the caterpillar, now a butterfly, resting on her shoulder. There are many differences between Carroll's book and Barton's film. In the former, Alice's alter ego is represented by the White Rabbit, while in the latter, by the Mad Hatter. Therefore, we understand that the director wants to underline Alice's transition from a diligent and obedient child to a rebellious adolescent who wants to be the creator of her own destiny. Furthermore, Tim Burton's Alice is a young woman who doesn't fit in with Victorian social customs. In fact, the director underlines this specific aspect by changing her clothes frequently in the film. As regards the setting, the same world is considered from two different angles. In the book, it is a colorful and welcoming place which perfectly reflects Alice's childhood, while in the film, Barton shows it as a dark and troubled place which represents Alice's adolescence precisely. Even its name has changed from Wonderland to Underland.